Hello and welcome to the second training video on how to use the Brainient Studio to add interactivity to your own videos. In the first part we looked at how to actually create a campaign, though in this video I'm going to show you how to add social and web interactivity. That can include Facebook, Twitter and YouTube functionality such as YouTube galleries. We'll also look at adding a live Twitter feed, polls and questionnaires and other types of click-through applications. To start with, I'm going to click the Edit in Studio button on the video that I created in the first training session. We can see on the left hand side we have different types of icons that we can add to our interactive video. At the top section we have our engagement applications. These are a little more advanced and we're going to talk about them in the third and fourth training videos that will be created, though for now we're going to focus more on the click-through applications. This includes our standard types of social media integrations where we can share pages on Facebook, share tweets, or take us to different Facebook pages, for example. If we click share on Facebook, this allows us to very obviously take something and share it on somebody's Facebook page. So, for example, in the tooltip text, this is the text that will appear when a user hovers over the icon. So I'm going to enter share the Brainient website as the text, and for the link I'm going to enter the Brainient homepage. So very simply the user can click on that button and it will share whatever link is in that box on Facebook. That could be a link to the video, to the product, or whatever it is that you're actually advertising. We can also relocate this icon by dragging it around the window. So we could put it on the left hand side at the top, or in this case I'm going to leave it on the right hand side. We can then click save, and after saving we can select preview, which will take us to a video player showing us our video with any interactivity. In this case we can see the video playing, on the right hand side our interactive icon, and if we click on the icon we see that I get shown the Facebook sharing page, which will allow me to share that page on my timeline. So there we go. Now the Brainient webpage has been shared on my Facebook page. So let's click back. To delete an icon we simply select it and click on the little X at the top right, which allows us to remove the app. The other Facebook icon, Facebook page, simply has two things. Once again the tooltip text, but this time it has a click-through section, which means whatever URL we type in here, it will simply direct the user to that URL. So for example, in this case, I'm going to use Brainient's Facebook page, and we'll take the user to the Brainient site. So once again, we click save, preview, and now if I click on that button, the user gets redirected to the actual Facebook page itself. All of these icons work in exactly the same way, so let's add another icon. We can have multiple icons on the same video. So for now I'm going to add a Twitter followers icon. So in this we can change the text to follow Brainient on Twitter, and in the URL we're going to enter a link to the Brainient profile on Twitter itself. And we also have a share on Twitter button which will allow a user to tweet directly from the video. Now this is what we're all about in terms of a company. It allows us to add interactivity and engaging applications without taking the user off the site. For example, if somebody's watching your advert and they think it's pretty cool and want to tweet about it, rather than leaving the video, going to Twitter in order to tweet, we can do it directly from this video. So I'm going to type in share Brainient on Twitter, and as the default tweet I'm going to type in, hey, check out this really cool website, www.brainient.com, and then hashtag very cool. So I'm going to save that now, and we'll preview that, see how it looks in the player. Let's just pause the video. Okay, so we have our three icons. If we follow Brainient on Twitter, we get taken to the Brainient Twitter page. and if we click on Share Brainiant Twitter, we can then submit our tweet. So it just allows the user to do everything very quickly from within the video, and once we've tweeted, that page would close and we'd still be on the video. So let's go back, let's remove these icons and show you some of the other things that we can do using these buttons. Generally they are click-through applications, so all of these buttons allow us to enter a URL. For example, if we buy on Amazon, once again we can enter a link to amazon.com / and then the ID of the product. So it would take the user straight to the product on Amazon. Now these are all predefined icons, but the click-through link can be anything. So for example, with a YouTube channel icon, we can enter any YouTube channel here. Of course, in this case, we'd be entering the Brainiant one. And all of these icons work in very much the same way. The custom icon is pretty powerful because it allows us to put our own image on top of the icon and then enter a click-through URL. And what that means is if there's a website that we don't already have a predefined icon for, that doesn't matter because here you can create your own. I'm going to talk about some of the more advanced things you can do with a custom icon in the third video. So for now, let's just go back and delete these. So we've covered adding Facebook icons, Twitter icons, and taking you to somebody's YouTube channel, for example. But one other thing we can do, rather than just taking somebody to a YouTube page, we could actually add a gallery of YouTube videos to be displayed within this particular video. So if we add a YouTube gallery, we can see there's a button here, and once the user clicks the button, a bigger screen appears, which can allow the user to view a different video. So at the bottom, once again, we have our tooltip text. Watch other Brainiant videos. We'll enter. We can have autoplay set to on or off, and here we can add multiple videos. So for now, I'm simply going to add a different video for Brainiant. This one is a story of how Brainiant first existed. And we can see that the title is automatically populated based on the link that's entered, though we do have the ability to change it. And once we click save, it automatically takes the caption from YouTube as well. Now in this case we only have one video, so simply in this icon here we actually get a full screen of that particular video. Though if we choose a different video to add on top of that, we'll take another video that's done by the same company, 500 Startups, and we can see this time how the accelerator started. And if we click save, we now have the ability to skip through and watch two videos. Now the interesting thing about this particular application is once again it allows the user to watch several different videos from within this one advert or within this one video. Now that means if you have your own website with some sort of embedded advert or embedded video, you can allow the user to watch other videos from within that one site. It means the user doesn't leave the environment they're in, they can stay there, but they can watch a selection of videos that you want them to watch. For example, if you were a film company and you had multiple film trailers, rather than having to find those manually, we could have those listed here. So let's close that particular application, and another one we can do is a live Twitter feed. Now this is very obvious. What we can do here is specify a search term, and all the results from that search term we can display live. So for the tooltip text, let's say all tweets from BBC News. And then we can show tweets from user. In this case we'll select BBC News, and we can also enter a hashtag. So in these input boxes here we can specify multiple things. So for example, we might want to see tweets from BBC News and Sky News. If there was a particular event that we were looking for, we could add the hashtag. So we can have a different number of options here. And in this case we've entered BBC News, and we can already see the types of content that we're going to see populated. Once again, we have a default tweet section, so using that tweet button a user can tweet directly from this window here. So we're going to tweet hey, this live feed is pretty cool. Just to show you how it works, we'll save that, preview it, and what we can see now is we have our video playing, and if I click on the button, we get our live Twitter feed, and then we can tweet directly from that. So once again, it allows the user to see what's going on in the world, look at their Twitter feed, but do it from within that environment, within that video itself. So let's remove that. Another thing we can do is add a poll or a questionnaire. So let's click on the poll button, and this gives us a few more options now. Let's say, who's going to win Wimbledon 2013? Okay. Now in this case, there can only be one answer, so we'll leave multiple answers set to no, which means we have a radio button. If we do put that to yes, they become checkboxes where the user can select multiple answers. So we'll leave that as no. But we can add multiple answers here, so 2, 3 or 4. We're going to enter 4. We can enter the question once again. Who's going to win Wimbledon 2013? And then we can have our options here. Okay. So very simply, if we then save that and preview it, we click on the button, and here we can then select who we think is going to win Wimbledon. So it's very quick, very easy, and it allows us to actually see, you know, what's going on and what people think of certain things. We can also do the same format for competitions and all sorts of different interactive engagement apps. That really sums up the different types of interactivity that you can add to a video, especially when it comes to social and web. We can take users to any web page or any other types of web activity, such as sharing on Facebook, sharing on Twitter, or using the custom icon, we can add the ability to share on Google+, for example, which I'll talk about in those later videos. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at hello@brainian.com, or indeed watch our other training videos where we'll show you how to do some more advanced things, like using the maps, ad selectors, and also the product carousels. Thanks for watching.